Hello and welcome. This is an ITV special edition. We have a very special guest in the audience, in the studio here today. None other than Mahadeo Shivraj, producer, director, and actor from Guyana. We are going to be talking about his new movie that's coming forward in New York, which was just premiered in Guyana, as well as Orlando, Florida. That movie is none other than the big talk of the town now, Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me, coming to New York.
I toss about all night, sleepless in my bed. I can't seem to get you out of my head. You're so fresh as the morning dew. My first and only true love is you.
But before we tell you a little bit about the movie, let me just give you a little highlight of Mahadeo Shivraj. As an actor, he's done some performances that some of you might be familiar with. For example, The Smurfs, with none other than Neil Patrick Harris. Another episode that he has performed in is 30 Rock with Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin. We know who they are. And some others that he's done. Some of the other movies that he has highlighted that some of you might be familiar with is Till I Find a Place. Another one that was premiered last year throughout Florida, New York, and Guyana, Jasmine for a Gardener. And also now, as I said, Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me. Let's have Mahadeo tell us a little bit about the new movie that's coming out, Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me.
Well, Dianne, thanks for having me here, and ITV too for having me here. I appreciate that very much. Give me an opportunity to speak about my movie. Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me is a movie that I decided to do because it was based on the life of a cane cutter. However, the subject matter does not only reflect on a cane cutter. Everybody else can relate to this. It could be a story for everybody. But the reason I did this movie, Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me, I wanted to do something that I can use to commemorate the 175th anniversary of Indian arrival from India to Guyana. Because our foreparents came from India to Guyana to work in the cane plantation. And this movie being a movie focusing on a cane cutter, I decided that it would be most appropriate to do that. Also for the Guyanese, they will be aware of the Enmore martyrs, which are the 5 men, the 5 cane cutters who were gunned down by the British one day in June 1948. And so I'm dedicating this movie to the Enmore martyrs as well. Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me, I would say it's an entertainer. It's a musical drama. It's a comedy. It's a mixture of it's many ingredients. It's a movie that we created 13 songs for, all sung by Guyanese artists, original songs. 2 of the songs would have been from before, but they were done with more contemporary music and resung by a different singer. From the feedback of the audience and the critics alike in Guyana, they're saying that this movie is the best that's been made in the Caribbean. I hope that's true. And from the reaction of the audience all over in Guyana as well as Florida, I think it's been overwhelming. When an audience can sit at a movie where the credits are coming up in the end and they don't get up until the last credit rolls, that tells a lot. And then when they come out in the lobby, they don't want to leave. They just want to take pictures and have autographs and stuff like that. I think the response was overwhelming. Surely appreciate, and I hope it will transfer to New York as the word spreads.
Well, Mr. Shivraj, I was actually there with you with the premiere in Orlando, Florida, which was the first movie theater that showed Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me on a big screen.
AMC Theater.
Right, the AMC Theater, which was promoted by CADVA, Caribbean American Domestic Violence Awareness. Now, I remember a lot of people, like you indicated, people huddled around like an hour after the movie was done. It was emotional, it was, you know, so moving. And also one of the things that I was impressed with is the casting of the characters.
Yeah.
You know, because you're a producer, actor, and director, so you also acted in the movie. But the cast on this particular film, in my opinion, was done really well. But one of the things that I wanted to highlight just quickly of some of the comments that I came across from Brunk Sugar Too Bitter for Me. A gentleman by the name of Tilak D. Harry Bikram said, the world of sugar plantation with the cane leaves waving in the breeze, like the water in the ocean, the grinding poverty of the cane cutter, the hopes and dreams of a better life for their children through education. Man, as I sat there glued to my seat watching the scenes unfold, I was so transfixed that many times I was rendered speechless. Though in the U.S., I felt like I was one of the struggling sugar workers of Guyana, from whose rank I too am one. Listening to the story as it unfolded, I felt as if you were telling my own life story, and with so many eerie similarities. Now, Shivraj, listening to those comments that this gentleman wrote, how did that make you feel? Like, how did others identify with, similarities in that movie?
Yeah, well, when I read this play by my friend Somnath Narayan, it was originally written as a play. I took it and made it into a screenplay and then film. It was like the editor and the cameraman, they told me not to do this. They didn't feel that this would be a good movie, but I had a vision that this movie will create a big effect on people's hearts and minds. And so I did everything. I told them in advance that people are going to laugh from the beginning to the end, but they'll walk out of the theater crying. And it happened exactly the same way. And the reason for that is because whether you're a cane cutter or a housewife or a doctor or a lawyer, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white or polka dot. We all have feelings. We all have a heart. That we all feel emotions. And so, and if I should get cut or you get cut, it's the same blood that will flow. So, because the storyline doesn't really matter whether you're a cane cutter, it affects everyone. And that's why people are affected in that way. That's why they laugh so much. That's why they cry too. And the beauty about it is that I found that many men of all ages, they did not have a problem in saying, hey, Shivraj, you know what? I cried, man. I cried. Because it affected them so much. They weren't ashamed to say that. It was like if they were happy to say, I cried, because they felt the emotions, they felt the characters, they felt the storyline, and it had that tremendous effect on them. And I've seen that throughout Guyana. Every screening of the movie, and again in Florida. And I know it's going to happen here, because they'll feel the same way. We're all human beings, and it doesn't matter, they will feel it the same way.
Okay, we're going to be moving shortly to show some previews of the movie, right? So you brought us a clip to take the trailer of the Brunk Sugar Too Bitter for Me. But just quickly, I just wanted to ask you, the movie was shown at AMC Movie Theater. That was a movie theater, big screen. Everybody sat there to watch this.
Yeah.
Can you tell us quickly, like, you're having it at a high school in New York, PS 268 at 92nd 07 175th Street in Jamaica. How can we push the audience now to encourage them to come out at a high school to show this movie compared to going to a movie theater?
Right. Well, that's one of the unfortunate things for us in New York here. We don't have a cinema we can easily access, unfortunately. And I'm hoping that maybe in a little time, other people who are influential in our community might come on board and make it possible that we can actually get the movie into a theater like we did in Florida. But in the absence of that right now, it's no different coming to the theater in a sense, because we have a big screen, we have a proper sound system, and the seating and everything is arranged in such a way that it's like a semblance of a cinema, a movie theater. I don't think you'll miss anything, because the movie will have the audience so engrossed, I don't think they'll miss being in a cinema or a theater, as we want to call it. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, absolutely, absolutely, because I saw the reaction of the people in Orlando. I'm sitting there and transfixed on, a big screen movie theater, and just to understand, to just encourage the people, in New York for them to
It's still a big
out,
screen. It's still a big screen.
Right.
I mean, it's not a theater, but it's still a big screen.
Right, and it's theater-style setting. And that was the same location that the
that Jasmine for a Gardener was shown. And it's going to be, if I can mention, June 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th. That's Saturday, Sunday, and Saturday, Sunday. And all 4 days it's going to be at 5:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. all 4 days.
And if they need other information, who can they contact?
Oh, they can call me directly
On
at
that number?
My number is 917-972-0787. 917-972-0787. And I've also kept the ticket price.
Right, we're going to show the bit of the trailer right now.
Okay.
All right, why you? All right, why you come home? Balram Ram done?
Nah, he ramen done, but me money done.
I toss about all night, sleepless in my bed. I can't seem to get you out of my head. You're so fresh as the morning dew. My first and only true love is you.
Settle with problems quickly, eh, boss? Empty paper bags don't stand up. Me belly day empty. You talking about you got cane for cut?
Look, I have no more time to argue. Go and cut the cane, you lazy cane cutter.
Who you know? Money lender data? I hear she plan to get a visa too. Hey, listen, fool, listen. My name, Ramgulam Popatlal, is not important to anybody. The only name that is important is Arjun Popatlal, who happens to be the son of a cane cutter.
Oh, Damarara Babu, oh, Bobby's Babu, oh, Resiquibu Babu, oh, Linden Babu. I am the very best of the Guyane Babu. I am the very best of the Guyane Babu.
When they see me dressed like this, they will offer to buy me a drink. I got to go with you, Pa? This is a celebration for all cane cutters. The president should make tomorrow a national holiday because I would be too sick to go to work. I didn't do anything disrespectful, Ma.
So why you blowing whistle when you pass me house? You think I got carnivore in my house?
Girl, you bring out the best in me when you love me completely. You're the answer to my prayer. I will love and keep you near. You are like sunshine on a rainy day, like a rainbow in skies of gray.
Like a dry coconut.
Money lender can't get away with this.
I'm going to call the pandit tomorrow to come and bless this boy.
Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Jaki Parvati, Pita Mahadeva.
Who's this girl? She come from this village?
She's Moneylender's daughter. He wants to come here and meet you.
Money lender daughter? You couldn't find nobody else to like but money lender daughter?
I'm asking for your son hand for my daughter. Don't let me go away like this. Punish me. But don't punish my daughter for my sins.
Ram, if Arjun like the girl, we can't say no.
शादी करने वाला शादी करो लड़का लड़की शादी करो शादी करने वाला शादी करो लड़का लड़की शादी करो.
That's how we do it in this family. We discuss important matters like love.
So whether it's in my coffee or in my tea,
Okay, we just viewed the trailer, and I hope that you enjoyed part of the trailer, but that's nothing compared to the entire movie that you will see, because I had a chance, like I said earlier, to see this movie in Orlando, Florida, and it was incredible and moving. Let me just share with you some other comments from some other people. One person, Lalita Prasad Lekram, said, "Just got home from watching Brung Sugar Too Bitter for Me. Friends and family should you get the opportunity to see this movie," which obviously you will in New York, "please go and watch with your entire family. It's a classic movie and will definitely make you laugh and cry at the same time," which it did myself. "It's a beautiful movie, and unless you see it for yourself, I cannot explain the details of it. I absolutely enjoyed every second of it. Guyanese sometimes underestimate the capability of our people. I trust that as the words get around, Brung Sugar Too Bitter for Me will get all the recognition as it so deserves and will be a huge success." Now, Shivraj, you've been getting this since we left Orlando.
Yeah.
All these comments, I mean, it's scrolling one by one by one. What are some of the other reactions that you've heard from other people, aside from what I've actually shared with our audience today?
It comes back to the same thing. I think the people who took the chance to come and see the movie, who figured that I'll give my Guyanese comrade here a chance. Let me see what he could do. They were rendered speechless, like one guy said. They couldn't believe that it was actually something that we could have pulled off, you know. And I think that's one of the unfortunate things about our society. We tend to think that only Bollywood and Hollywood can make movies, and we don't think that we have the capacity and capability. Of course, I don't have the money to do it, and I've waited all my life for somebody to give me an opportunity in Guyana, and nobody did. So in my own little way, I'm trying to make movies. I'm trying to bring about an awareness in Guyana, and I'm hoping that the younger Guyanese artists will pick up and, you know, and move forward and make movies as well. I don't want to be the only person making movies. I want to just let's set a trend, and, you know, others will follow, and we can become a country that makes movies, you know.
Well, definitely what I've seen, Shivraj, is that you have amazing talent. I've seen that with this movie.
I thank God for that.
And I saw with the other movie. One of the things that as you were speaking, I thought of at the movie in Orlando, because as I watched the audience move out of the theater, we had a lot of young audience there as well. So this movie appeals to everyone, adults as well as young. And what are some of the things, the message that you think could come across our audience? Because, you know, sometimes they say if you don't see something, you don't know, you're just like, you know, you might take a step back and not go. So how can we appeal to our young audience to get them to come out, especially young people who weren't born in Guyana, can identify with something like this? Say, Brung Sugar Too Bitter for Me. I mean, I didn't grow up in the plantation or whatever. I don't want to go see that, you know. But how can we encourage our young people to come out? Because we have a big young audience in New York.
Well, like I have a friend in Florida, Orlando, who came out and brought her daughter to the movie. The child was born here. She's now 20 years old. And my friend called me to tell me, she called me 4 times up to now since the movie finished showing, because she's like, yo, this movie I can't believe what I saw. This thing is unbelievable. And for my daughter to enjoy a movie to this extent, to be talking about it to all her friends and raving about it at age 20, being born in America and can relate to this here, it got to be something special. And I told her the reason that your daughter and any other youth in America, born of Guyanese or Caribbean parents, or it doesn't even have to be, it could be anybody from any part of the world, because we all have the same feelings, we all have emotions, it will affect us in the same way. It doesn't matter whether you were born in Guyana or Trinidad or wherever, and it doesn't matter what age you are. You will feel love. You will feel what it is to respect somebody and to receive respect. You will understand what it is to make sacrifices for a parent or for a child, and vice versa. So this is it's a universal thing, our feelings and emotions. We can't run away from that. So it doesn't matter where you come from, it will affect you. And that's why anybody of all ages, they're affected by the movie.
Now, also, Shiv, one of the lines that I noticed, like when the movie started showing and they were showing a scene, I don't want to like give too much of it, but there was a line in there that you said it was something about relationship, love or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote. So I want to ask you about that. But it looks as though it was pretty much like a love story, but there's more to it than that, because we were dialoguing about that. Can you tell our audience quickly on that?
Well, just to go back a little, I want my movies to tell something, not only for entertainment, but it must be educational as well. I want people, when they're looking at my movies, they must start off with something in their minds. Like, for example, my first movie, Till I Find a Place. On screen, I put lust. It is said that lust is the greatest enemy, because I wanted people to look at this movie with that in mind. Same thing with A Jasmine for a Gardener. There was a saying about greed, because the movie deals with that topic. And here it is. It deals about love, but it's not only love in a fashion where boy meets girl and they fall in love and stuff like that. This is love of a parent for a child, and vice versa. Also of child for a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. The important thing is that love is a universal thing, and we all crave love. And whilst being in love, whether it's as a parent and a child or other, there are certain emotions that well up when we feel that emotion. When we feel that, there are many things that happens in us, and those are the things that are touching people. Those are the things that are touching people's intellects and their hearts, and making them can't even explain why it is that they're crying and why is it's affecting them this way.
Actually, as I'm listening to you speak on that, it reminded me of a movie with Amitabh Bachchan, what I think a lot of people have seen. I think it's the one with the family, Bhagwan.
Yeah.
And that, as I'm listening to you, remembering scenes of Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me, it reminds me so much of that, because that movie was so emotional, so touching. You know, but again, the casting, I think that was so important in this particular film, was the casting.
Yeah, incidentally, we did Bagban in Guyana on stage, and I played the Amitabh role.
Okay.
But the line that you were referring to, the line was, true love stories never have endings, and love is it's eternal, you know. There's no end to love. When somebody passes away, we still feel love for them. It doesn't matter, and that's why we go and we put a mala over their picture, and we keep something after a year and all that. It's love that makes that happen. Coming to the point of casting, because movie making is a visual thing. Sometimes the look of a person alone can tell 100 words, so there's no need to go and say 100 words when you could actually show somebody. That's why there is typecasting, like in American movies. Before they go and put a white guy as a cab driver, they'll put an Indian guy with an Indian accent, and it'll tell quickly what it is, because they typecast you. A deli clerk will be an Indian. And so, in the same way, when you're casting for a movie in our way, well, we don't have whites, and it's all one or two different races. But you try to find the person that fits the role the most. And I think I must have been good in doing that. And added to that, the choice of locations to simulate what you call it, plantation kind of feel, kind of helped, you know. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mahadeo Shivraj, for joining us on ITV to promote this fantastic movie. I've actually seen it, so I can actually honestly tell you, please go out to see this movie on June 1st, 2nd, 8th and 9th, Saturday. Those are Saturdays and Sunday at PS 268 at 9207 175th Street on Jamaica Avenue. Again, you can contact Mahadeo Shivraj at 917-972-0787. Again, this is a great movie. It's a family movie. Take your family, your husbands, your wives, your children, your in-laws. It's a great experience to bring people together, and I think that is what our community here in New York needs, and even around the globe. Our Caribbean or Indian community, we need to come together as a group. We need to support each other within the arts. So I'm hoping that we can see many of you coming out to this movie at the beginning of June. And for those of you for Orlando, it'll be coming back in Orlando and in Florida. So again, we want to thank ITV for allowing us this opportunity. Shivraj, I want to thank you.
Thanks.
And New York, watch out. Look out for Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me.